Hi, welcome to Lorhana Gaming.
We're going to be going through Shimmering Skies set review, and today we are covering Steel.
We'll be going through all of its cards with color 2, and I'll be covering it top 3.
We're going to start off with Dopey Knight's Apprentice. This 3 inkable 2/2 quest for 1 is our first of the 7 Dwarfs Knights, and has Stronger Together. When you play this character, if you have another knight character in play, you may deal 1 damage to chosen character or location. I mean, fun in the meme deck, but otherwise, it's alright.
Next up, we have a 2-cost action, Duck for Cover, so chosen character gains Resist 1 and Evasive this turn. The Evasive is kind of nice, but without giving away the actually challenge who you want, it's just not going to be great.
Then we're going to get Happy Lively Knight. This 1 inkable, another 7 Dwarf Knight, is a 2/1 quest for 1. Has Burst of Speed. During your turn, this character gains Evasive. Now as a 1-drop, that's pretty nice, having a little Evasive in there. And I could see some play outside the Dwarf deck.
Then we got Hey Hey Protective Rooster. So this is a 5-cost inkable 4/5 bodyguard that does quest for 2, which is nice stat line. Would be great for the bodyguard. Great art, fun character. But I just don't know how much you want a 5-cost bodyguard these days.
Then we're going to hit our small Kronk, the Unlicensed Investigator. At a 2 inkable 1/4 and quest for 1, he's bringing Challenger +1. So maybe a shift target, but outside of that, I'm not really seeing why you're going to play Kronk over some other things.
Well, in Kronk we have one of the best 1-drops of the set, being Mickey Mouse Food Fight Defender. So it's a 1-cost 1/2 that quests for 1 with Resist 1. So he's going to be hard to deal with. A lot of removal that would traditionally deal with your 1-drops won't deal with him. He's just going to sit out and do his thing.
Yeah, right. As a 1-drop, he's going to take a lot to remove early on in game. I think you're going to get a few quests out of this, no problem. Maybe even challenging some of the smaller characters and taking no damage until your opponent can finally deal with them.
Alright, we've seen Resist 1 be so impactful. Cogsworth slams down in blue, and all the characters, I mean, as a Steel player, it's just a nightmare to deal with. If you give him more strength in like a Ruby-based deck, he can punch way above his weight class.
Yep, there you go. So definitely a nice food fight defender. Speaking of food, that's just going to go right to your waste bin, perhaps, is the Royal Guard Bovine Protector. Maybe see some more of these characters later on, but a 4 inkable at a 1/7, 1 lore. Probably get a lot of questing out of them, but at 4 cost, what else are you doing with it?
Right, next up we have Rudy Groove Disruptor. So it's a 1-cost inkable 2/2, quest for 1. My only disappointment is I really wanted a groovy shift target for him. I wanted to see him on the dance floor dancing, we just didn't get that. Other than that, it's your traditional 1-cost 2/2, nothing too special.
Then we're going to go for a 1-drop item in the Shield of Arendelle. Deflect, banish this item. Chosen character gains Resist +1 until the start of your next turn. So it does have a little bit of difference of until the start of your next turn. However, at having to banish the item, I just see other Steel items do this better.
I mean, I'll just rather play Mouse Armor. Alright, next up we have Simba Lost Prince. So this is a 3-cost inkable 2/4. Quest for 1, and it has the ability Face the Past. So during your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may draw a card. So at 3, not a terrible effect here, but just depends how often you get to do that. We've seen this with Jafar before, and usually what happens is your opponent just stops questing and giving you the opportunity.
That's some okay stats, but that 2 strength just isn't banishing a lot.
Right, you really want it to be 3.
Then we're going to go and jump to one of our other 7 Dwarf Knights in Sneezy. Nosy Knight. I mean, a fun play on words. This 4 inkable 3/4 quest for 1. This one is ability of Headwind. When you play this character, chosen knight character gains Challenger +2. That is kind of fun in some knight decks. Outside of anything with knight keyword, though, I don't think you're really playing this.
Following that up, we have a 3-cost inkable Steel Song again. So being a Steel Song at 3, it already is worth taking a look at. Chosen character can't challenge during their next turn. Draw a card. The draw card is nice. Maybe there's a world where you basically tell a Maui to go and just take a sideline for the turn. But I don't know how useful a draw card song is going to be.
Then we're going to go to an Arthur at a 2 inkable 2/2, quest for 2. 2s across the board, and that's about it. Maybe shift target if you need one, you're playing steel.
Alright, next up we have another one of the Night Dwarfs. This one is Bashful Adoring Knight. So this is a 4-cost inkable 3/4. Once again, quest for 1. He has the ability Impress the Princess. If you have a character named Snow White in play, this character gains Bodyguard. Another one of those like conditional bodyguards. I have the same statement on all of these. Just give it Bodyguard, it would have been better.
Then we have Food Fight, a 1 uninkable action. Your characters gain Exert, pay 1 ink, deal 1 damage to chosen character this turn. Not really sure why you're going to be playing this in order to just give your characters an ability there. I think it's just going to go to the bulk bin.
Next up, we have Pete, Games Referee. So this is a 3-cost inkable 3/3 that quests for 1, but the real sauce here is his ability Blow the Whistle. So when you play this character, opponents can't play actions until the start of your next turn. Heck of a card this set. We're on kind of a song-based, action-based meta here. A lot of the game is defined around action cards. Whole new world. Grab your sword. Be prepared. And being able to basically say, do none of that is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. At a 3/3, not the strongest for removal reasons, but it's going to be abused by control with no doubt.
Right? Purple Steel can just bounce him and play him, and bounce him and play him. There's just, everything's going for this card.
Yeah, I've got thoughts in my head. I think any Steel deck is going to want to play this card because it's just that good. I mean, who doesn't want a 3-drop at just the right time to try to stop your opponent from playing actions?
Right, there's barely any games I can think of where I wouldn't have wanted a turn to stop the actions. Then we have 7 Dwarves Mine Secure Fortress. So this is a 2-cost 6 willpower location that does gain 1 lore at the start of your turn, and you can move there for a turn. So during your turn, the first time you move a character here, you may deal 1 damage to chosen character, but if the character is a knight, you get to do 2 instead. It's a very cute effect, but once again, they're pushing that knight tribal. Don't see it happening yet.
Then we're going to have Simba, son of Mufasa, at a 6 inkable 3/5. Can shift on 4 and quest for 1. Fearsome Roar. When you play this character, you may banish chosen item or location. So it kind of matches your Beast and your Benjas for the item. Those are a bit cheaper. However, this does let you hit a location, which could be some added benefit. Not so sure it's going to be up there. Maybe a tech card.
Alright, next up, putting me to sleep is Sleepy Sluggish Knight. 2-cost bodyguard that quests for 1, but for some odd reason he has 0 strength. So, 4 health, do nothing guy.
Oh, he's sleeping on the job. What else do you expect?
He's good at it.
Then we're going to hit the Steel Chromacon. This item is a 6 uninkable. Oh, hurts my heart to say. But it does have the ability Exert to deal 1 damage to chosen character. So I have to wait till turn 6. I play this. I exert it to deal 1 damage. I'm not seeing where this fits in, and personally I think this is the worst of all the Chromacons that there are.
It's too expensive, it's uninkable, and there's not a lot of decks you'd want that effect that you couldn't do for cheaper. Right, next up, another cute one. We have Stitch Team Underdog. So it is a 4-cost uninkable 1/4 that quest for 1. Has the ability Heave Ho. When you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to the chosen character. The ability is really nice, but at 4 and uninkable, it's going to be a hard one to run.
Yeah, just more fun art that we'll see.
The art in this set has been just insane. I've loved most of it.
Yes, really liking it. And then we're going to hit another enchanted location that I really do like is Badanon, Villain Support Center. Now this fun location is a 3 inkable, costs 2 to move, and has 7 willpower. And the ability is, fittingly, there's no one I'd rather be than me. Villain characters gain, Exert, pay 3 ink. Play a character of the same name as the character, or as of this character, for free. So that means some of your small villains paying 3 ink, and the 2 to move there, so you're really paying 5, taking their whole action to get one of the other bigger characters out there. I mean, it sounds really good, but we have the Emerald Hades that does a similar thing for non-villains, and we're not really seeing play with that one either.
And for free.
Yeah, for free. It does give you 1 lore, so at least there's something to this location. I'm just not seeing it hit a lot of decks right now, at least.
Next up, we have Doc Bold Knight. So this is a 2-cost inkable 1/3 that quests for 1 and has the ability Drastic Measure. So when you play this character, you may discard your hand to draw 2 cards. This is arguably the best of the Dwarf Knights. A lot of the times you can just be a 2-cost to draw 2. So definitely keep an eye out for him, but depends which deck you're going to put him in.
Then we're going to go with Namari, Resolute Daughter. Here we have another one of the mechanic of making it cheaper. She's 9 uninkable at a 5/5 questing for 3. Now hers, I don't have any other choice. For each opposing character banished in a challenge this turn, you pay 2 less for this character, and has resist 3. So once she's on the board, she's really good. But I think this is one of the worst ways of trying to get a character on the board, because you have to banish in a challenge this turn, and you're in steel, which is usually a lot of non-challenge banishment.
Yep. I know anyone who's tried to go and play a challenge-based deck, you find out why the challenge is one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah, as soon as they know it's in there. So I think it's just going to be the hardest one to pull off.
Following that up, though, we have Pete, Wrestling Champ. So this is a 3-cost inkable 1/3 with the ability Repeat. You can exert him and reveal the top card of your deck. If the character's named Pete, you may play it for free. There's a lot of fun Petes here. It's going to be a great themed deck. Probably not too strong, but would be a really good one for locals.
Yeah, the names, Repeat, it's just lovely. Then we're going to have Plate Armor. You know how we were saying adding Resist +1 is, you know, okay if you have to banish, not so great. Well, here for 4 uninkable, you have Plate Armor item, well crafted. Exert. Chosen character gains Resist +2 until the start of your next turn. It's a little bit more expensive, uninkable, but you're getting Resist 2 and you don't have to banish the item. I still don't really see it seeing play because of the 4 uninkable is just a bit much.
Alright, speaking of uninkable, we have Sir Ector, Castle Lord. So this is one of those cards when I first saw it to do a double take because I was surprised on how little he did. He is a high cost, he is big stats, he does quest for 3, but he does literal nothing. I don't think he's ever going to see play. Going to be one of those cute ones that's going to sit somewhere but not in your deck.
Now we'll do a little tug of war with Tink here. At a 5 inkable, an action card that lets you choose one. Deal 1 damage to each opposing character without evasive, or deal 3 damage to each opposing character with evasive. Now I think this has some great potential in that flexibility and being inkable. At a 5 action though, it's going to be a little expensive, so you're going to have to consider your choices. However, being able to hit evasive or non-evasive gives you great flexibility depending on what you're playing against.
Right. Does deal with Diablo when you need it to, so there's a lot of potential there if he still takes the format.
Absolutely.
Alright, next up we have Yzma, Unjustly Treated. So this is a 4-cost and inkable 1/4 that quests for 2, and during your turn, whenever one of your characters banishes a character in a challenge, you may deal 1 damage to the chosen character. Everything about her reads really good until you read her ability and you're like, why? It doesn't really do anything. Banishing is hard, and all that set up for 1 damage is just not going to be worth it.
But we're going to jump over to Grumpy, the Skeptical Knight. He is a 3 inkable 3/1. Whew, that feels a little soft. But you have Boon of Resilience. While one of your knight characters is at a location, this character gets Resist +2. Then Burst of Speed. During your turn, this character gains Evasive. I do like the Evasive. That makes him a little bit playable. Having the caveat that a knight character has to be on a location to get the resist and not just fold to anything makes me really hesitant to play this Grumpy. Makes me grumpy.
Alright, makes you wish it was just a character out of location.
Oh, that would be a lot better then, yes.
Alright, next up, another one of the great arts of the set, Kronk, Head of Security. I love Kronk, I love this card, I love its art. It's a 7-cost and inkable, 6/6, shift for 5 with the ability Are You on the List? During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may play a character with cost 5 less or 3. It is a powerful ability. I think it will be a track card in some cases, but I think it's going to be a really fun one to play around.
Yeah, he just comes out as a 6/6. So, one, you're going to be banishing things, right? I mean, there's not too many
something's
things.
ready, it's gone.
Yeah, not much can handle that. You are looking at a shift, so that's the way you're going to have to get him out. And then being able to play a character for 5 or less for free seems pretty good. It does have to be in your hand after all, but there's a lot of great 5 or less characters.
Alright, pick your favorite. The only thing I'm worried about is I don't know, he doesn't have the best shift targets in the game right now, so trying to pick your one that you want to do is going to be a little difficult.
Then we're going to have Snow White, Fair-Hearted. Now this is your leader of all the little dwarf knights they're rallying behind because friendship is the best armor of all, everybody.
Yeah!
So 5 uninkable, 3/5 quest for 3. Then Natural Leader. This character gains resist +1 for each other knight character you have in play. So yes, friendship is the best armor of all because with a lot of knights on the board, if you can get them there, you are going to be tanking a bunch of hits with Snow White. The 3 strength still leaves her quite vulnerable to a lot of other counterplay. I think it's a decently statted card, and we'll probably see some play with it. If not in the 7 dwarves and other knight decks, might be.
Alright, on to the legendaries. We'll be kicking off with Arthur, King Victorious. So, this is a 7 cost and inkable 3/6 that quests for 3, which is a little on the low on the stat line, but he does shift for 5 and has the ability Ignited by the King. When you play this character, chosen character gains Challenger +2 and Resist +2, and can challenge ready characters this turn. Originally, we do have this effect on Pick a Fight before, and Last Hope, where it lets your characters ready, but it quite hasn't punched through. But this one, also being able to give Challenge Resist, gives us some high potential. I particularly like using him with the Ruby Captain Hook and letting him take out every single readied character on the board.
Yeah, that's a pretty good play. I mean, the fact that you throw it down there, you're going to be able to challenge some other glimmers, knock them off the board, not to mention establishing a pretty big body. He is going to be a target, but that ability only getting used once, I don't know.
Right, depends how much synergy you have. We'll have to go and see if it pans out, but the art is fantastic as well.
Then we're going to hit our last legendary of the set right here in Jafar, Tyrannical Hypnotist. I have a fun take on this. I think it's pretty decent in a way, but it's a 6 inkable 0/7. Sounds like it feels bad. Questing for 2. However, Challenger 7. This is big. Then Intimidating Gaze. Opposing characters with cost 4 or less can't challenge. That's going to be a little bit of a mix because there's no shift, so you can't just get out there and start attacking with that 7. It is possible that 0 is going to make it easy to remove from a lot of ruby colors. However, the opposing characters of 4 or less not being able to challenge, I think, is fairly impactful. Late game, maybe not as much, but still has a lot of good potential, I think.
Right, I feel like his only downside is he doesn't prevent Maui, but almost every other early game threat he just locks down. Most decks' curves are at 4 or less, except for the big ones, and the big ones like blue, like in blue steel, Cogsworth isn't going to be challenging anytime soon.
Yep.
So I do think he does have some potential here. It's going to suck when you play him and he gets brawled and he's gone, but...
Yeah, that will hurt. But again, that's only a couple colors. You have to worry about that. He may not be an auto-include, but I think completely worth consideration in a lot of decks.
On to our top 3 of the set. Our first one we do agree on is going to be Mickey Mouse Food Fighter. Having a solid 1-drop is definitely a good thing to have. It's something that Steel doesn't have too much. It's had Captain Hook, but being able to have another one that you just want to throw in is going to be very nice.
And then I think we're going to agree again on Pete, Games Referee. Because, come on, why not? This is going to be a defining card.
Right, just play it on key turns. If you know you're getting Ruby Amethyst, it's turn 6, they're going to ink up to 7 next turn, you throw them down and they're just going to cry. Same thing against Blue-Red. Half the decks that go and do something powerful rely on songs to get there. For our third pick here, we do have a small disagreement. I personally have a pick of Arthur King Victorious. I like his ability, I like his art. I like the deck building potential. I want to do some shenanigans with him, and I think he's going to be a real fun card to play around with.
Yeah, he's definitely good, but Jafar, Tyrannical Hypnotist, we just talked about, I think has another good plays, and I'm feeling he's going to be the big bad. A lot of people are calling Hades, but I'm going to ride Jafar for the moment as my pick, or maybe at least he's a big supporter in it. That good old snake hypnotizing has captured me in his gaze.
For sure. I know another upside too, if you are doing Jafar Wheel, he is not a bad one to have as an alternative shift target.
Alright, thanks for joining us for that video. If you like our content, please like, subscribe, and share it. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so that way you know when our next videos are coming up.
We really appreciate the support and stay tuned for the next video.